Seasons 4.0, a Drake Music Commission.
It was in, I think, January of 2013. I saw a tweet about Drake Music looking for musicians who wanted to work collaboratively with other artists.
Our aim was to find disabled musicians who needed ways to develop their work and their career. We were put in touch with Sonia Allori, who's the composer at the heart of this project, answered an invitation from us, and I was responsible for trying to find someone that she could work with who would help her to develop her work. And I'd worked with Sheron Wray before, knew she was a wonderful choreographer, also knew that they had mutual interests in improvisation, using technology, audience interaction.
We were beginning an exploration actually which began over the internet. So we were working in two different places. I was in the States and Sonia was here.
I then had this idea that it might be nice to do a kind of reimagining of Vivaldi's Four Seasons.
I knew very little about the background to the music and the sonnets and really how the seasons were conceptualized.
The Four Seasons come with a sonnet which was written to accompany each movement. And what's really interesting about this is that the words appear in the score. So I transcribed the sonnet text, choosing about 10 different words and translated that into BSL. And then I filmed myself doing those signs, and I sent a file over to Sheron, who then made a choreographic response. We then had at the kind of showing, which was back in March last year. So we got funding from Unlimited in, must have been March, April of this year, and because of that we were able to do this R&D in August and September, which is what we're doing at the moment, and we're working on the summer movement.
Vivaldi's interpretation of summer is, in terms of the weather, is to do with the quite oppressive and violent side of summer, thinking of thunder, thinking of, all the kinds of intense weather systems that happen, hurricanes and so on. And so it made me then have to reconsider what it was that I wanted to bring to this conversation. These are times where violence increases. So re-explore that as part of the piece. But also there's a way in which there's a sense of tension but also release.
It's been a real stretch for me as a composer because I had to compose some of the material very quickly.
It's been nice to kind of sink our teeth into some really interesting music. I don't think I've ever really played anything like this before. It's been really cool.
It's very challenging music because there are quick transitions from something that you can understand and recognise to something that's completely elusive.
Yeah.
The music is extraordinarily beautiful.
It is.
So working with Sonia is a treat because the music is a treat.
The last piece that we play in particular, I just want playing in loop forever because it's so relaxing.
All the different moods that Sonia's created with her composition has been really amazing to dance to with Sheron's choreography, which has
makes it easier for us to get the characters
and explain the narrative through our movement has been easy. It's been just a nice connection, a nice marriage.
Over the last year or so, since we put them together, they've been working slowly to develop the ideas and concepts behind this project, which has now reached a second phase of research and development. And they asked me to come back not as a producer, but as a dramaturg. So I've been involved really helping them to think about the shape of the story that we're telling primarily through music and dance.
I've worked with Sheron for 10 years now, and she brought me onto this project last October, working with Sonia and Danny at Drake Music. And the objective is to get people to interact with the dancers and the musicians using their mobile phones.
Work in progress, sharing, September 2014.
Could I get some help from someone? Anyone down there?
Can you just draw a chalk line with this chalk around our friend like you see in the movies?
Look at all that fresh blood.
It's none of our business, Ingrid.
Ooh, look, I think that's a knife.
This neighborhood is dangerous.
how did you get away from Vivaldi's Four Seasons? Because I can see in the concepts that you might want to have 4 pieces, but why and how there's the choice of not using any of his material?
Every note that you've heard comes from the summer movement. It comes from Vivaldi's actual score. I'm not going to get into the boring musical things of it, but I chose pitches and formed groups of pitches for each track.
A film by Ivan Riches. Artists: Sonia Allori, composer; Sheron Wray, choreographer; Danny Braverman, dramaturg; Fleeta J Chew Siegel, technologist. Musicians: Amelia Cavello and Barbara Hockaday. Dancers: Gwen Jones and Ingrid McKinnon. Production team: Matthew Mountain, stage manager; Mary Patterson, producer; Evan Ruskop, developer; Abigail Ward, producer. Supported by Rich Mix, the Rayne Foundation, City Bridge Trust, Arts Council Catalyst, Unlimited via Creative Scotland. A Drake Music Commission. Copyright Sonia Allori, Sheron Wray and Drake Music, 2014. Breaking down disabling barriers to music. Drake Music.